Hola.
A true
Siéntate.
¿Quién te está hablando? ¿Quién te está hablando? ¿Oye? ¿Quién es? ¿Quién es?
What you say?
I don't like that. I was like, who is it? Something on the roof.
Boy, she is lucky she got adopted early because she would not do well on the market now.
And look at sweet Barb, just
Barb,
waiting for her.
Barb.
She's the 13-year-old senior citizen.
Okay, so she's an old lady.
She is an old lady, but she is spry. You'd never think I get asked how many months old she is. She's a sprightly young thing.
Rightly young at 13. Hey guys, John Hanson's back and there's gonna be trouble. Hey la, hey la. John Hanson's back. Nothing cooler than talking about yourself in the third person. Hey everyone, happy Thursday. You're watching The Jam. And Amy and Felicia, so good to see you guys again.
You didn't even give us the chance to say, welcome back, John Hanson. You're just going to welcome yourself to the show.
Steamrolled right back into the chair here.
It's like he had like this fabulous trip and like is all relaxed now. We don't know he sat on the couch and watched the show.
I watched you guys, and I kept on texting you, hoping that you'd read my responses on the air, and then you duly pointed out that I could just come back on the show at any point and let my opinions be known. So, hey, by the way, this is big news. This is topping all of Twitterverse right now. It's going to affect a lot of Chicago local theaters, too. Warner Brothers with this gigantic announcement that in 2021, they're going to be releasing pretty much their entire slate of movies, 17 of them, straight to HBO Max at the same time they're in limited releases in theaters. Obviously, a lot of this, most of it is pandemic related. They've kind of toyed with this idea, but this is huge news.
Yeah, and like the new Wonder Woman movie is coming out Christmas Day straight to HBO Max too. And like give some of the services, if you've bought something else, like we're getting it for free for like 4 months.
I'm a really big movie goer. I used to go to the movies probably 1 to 3 times a month. And I'm just not going to risk that. I'm not going to go sit in a room, a COVID hot box with a bunch of other people. So for me to be able to get this at home, even if I do have to pay a bit more, but I already have HBO, I'm looking forward to this.
Well, and also, look, I mean, they're not saying whether this is permanent or not, but they're not saying whether it's temporary or not either. And people kind of long predicted this is maybe the way the movie industry was going. This pandemic has certainly accelerated that, so things are changing. We'll have to wait and see for how long.
Yeah, true. Well, Chicago's full of unique neighborhoods, and now one Instagram account is celebrating the unique doors and doorways all over town. We've got Ronnie Frey, the creator of Doorways of Chicago, here joining us now. Ronnie, thanks so much for being here. It sounds like it might be one of these simple, trivial things, but it really is an art when you start looking at the doorways of Chicago and photographing them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I first started the account with just showing doorways, and then I started to show the actual architecture and the buildings that go along with them. And the response has been amazing. The account has grown rapidly, and it's just a whole lot of fun.
So how did you even get into something like this?
Well, my background is in interior design, and since I studied interior design and practiced it, I fell in love with architecture, of course. And I've just always had a thing for doorways, just because they kind of have other meanings too. Like, you know, you can open a new doorway in your life, or, you know, go into a portal of meditation and that type of thing. So I just started posting them on my personal account, and then people were like, you should start your own account. And I saw account Doorways of Paris. That's amazing. And so I just decided to do it, and it grew slowly. And then all of a sudden I started getting a lot of reposts, and then it started to grow rapidly. So just a lot of fun. And it's fun to, researching the history of certain buildings and giving the history in the post.
So I didn't start paying attention to doors until I went on a trip to Charleston, South Carolina.
Oh, yeah.
And they were on the tour, they were describing what the doorways mean and how there are spiritual connections and how it is connected just to the land and the people and the other energies. I was like, wow, I never put that much thought into it. So what makes a door unique to you? And let's talk specifically about the Chicago area.
So doorways, I mean, what makes them unique to me is I either find something that's really cool about the design of them, whether it's the detail or the surround. You know, we have a lot of beautiful brick designs and details in the surrounds and limestone surrounds.
So let's talk about some of the neighborhoods. You know, Chicago is really into their neighborhoods. Where are some of the best places you'd like to go searching for doors and architecture?
Well, I live in Andersonville, so I'm on the north end, and I love to explore my area, but my favorite part of the city is the south side. There's just an immense amount of history, and, you know, like with the World's Fair from back in the late 1800s happening in Hyde Park and Bronzeville and Kenwood. I had never been to Kenwood until recently, and the homes there and the doorways are just amazing.
Make sure you check out his Instagram, Doorways of Chicago. You might get a new view of the city we love.
Hey, the nonprofit Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health now has its own brick and mortar shop on the city's north side. The organization's founder, Christopher Lamarck, says the pop-up location has a dual purpose.
What we decided to do for the Christmas season was to bless 500 families on Christmas Eve. And so we opened up this amazing shop, Coffee, Hip Hop, and Mental Health, in the East Lakeview area at 3243 North Broadway, so we can sell coffee and exclusive merch, so we can provide presents and clothing, and most importantly, groceries, so we can continue to fight food insecurity in the heart of Chicagoland. So come on down Wednesday through Sunday from 10 to 4 p.m. so you can help us take care of 500 families on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, and if you're interested in helping out, you can swing by the shop to make a donation. Again, that address is 3243 North Broadway, or you can register to volunteer online at chhamh.org. The deadline is Wednesday, December 20th.
Oh, yes. These are the things that we love to see. That organization is a friend of the Jam, and they're always talking about their purpose, trying to get people involved with mental health, particularly men, talking about their mental health. So this is just another part of their expansion, something really cool to see in the community, particularly at a time right now.
Well, I also think like the synergy works with coffee house, like that feel conversation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like that's where a lot of great conversations through history have taken place at. And, you know, melding hip hop into it too. The vibe makes sense, all for a good cause, right down the street from me. I will have to check that out. But yeah, as you mentioned, Felicia, friend of the Jam, and it's been a lot of fun to kind of track their journey.
Yeah, the coffee house and the ale house. That's where conversations happen.
Oh,
yes.
Boy, the ale house. I've had a good conversation or two in my day there. Speaking of coffee houses, Pivot. That's where Enrique and I had our first date back when we were both single.
Cute.
Yeah, you see what I did there. We're going to talk about single stuff now. Okay, so Chicago is known for a lot of great things, of course. Agriculture, architecture. I almost said agriculture.
Wrong.
Our boss rewrote that script for me and made it so good. Let me try that again, boss. Chicago's known for a lot of great things: architecture, food, and sports. But being single, maybe not so much. This, according to a new survey from Wallet Hub. If your pandemic and dating experience has been less than romantic, you can apparently blame it on Chicago. It's ranked as 39th in the country, which I guess is better than 176, which is like what the whole list is. But they're putting us at 39th, and they're saying it's because it's too expensive to date here. Like the dates cost too much. And that we are just the 15th best for recreation in all of the United States. I put Miami as number one in that regard. But overall, it says the best cities for singles are Madison, Wisconsin. And I love Madison, but Atlanta and Denver. Not bad cities. Glendale, California is the worst, but 39th for our city? Come on.
I don't think 39th is that bad, John Hanson. I don't know. Maybe I'm bad at fractions, but it still kind of puts us in the upper echelon of cities, right? And admittedly, I'm not good at math, but I think I'm right there. So that's not horrible. But I will say when I moved to Chicago, single, it felt a little college campusy. Like it felt like I was in a fraternity when I go to some of the bars, and maybe that's my poor choice. It was a little elementary, I guess. As I got older, I discovered new spots, but I can kind of see where, you feel like a little frat housey.
Yeah. So I was going to add that I don't really think this city is the best for like young people, young professionals, young people who are just starting out in their lives. I mean, as I mentioned, that this is one of the most expensive cities. It's too expensive to date here. I think that's one of the main reasons, just right there. You know, you're trying to climb your corporate ladder or whatever you're doing in your career, and you're
More of a
also
step
trying to
stool
date
at
at
that
the same
age.
time. It's hard to do both,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, look, dating is a game of how many people are near you, right? And you've got to shoot your shot as many times as you can sometimes. And I tell you what, I would rather live in a metropolitan area that has 8 to 9 million people. And because you got a lot of chances then, right? Like you can have a lot of swings and misses, but eventually you're going to hit a home run. As opposed to Madison, where like 200,000 people live. The bigger the better, as they say. Never mind.
Yeah, but to go out on a date, right? Because you don't have to live there. They're saying that's a good place to go out dating. I don't know.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
and the agriculture. You can't beat
and the agriculture. Although there is an agriculture high school, John, so you're not that far off. We do have ag here in the city of Chicago. All right, let's move on. Deanna and Krista are joining us with coming up next. And speaking of dating, a local is going outside the city.
Yeah. All right, guys, coming up, a Chicago woman who was ready for love took her chances on reality TV. We're chatting with her next, and later, I'll tell you which shipping company is pumping the brakes on online holiday deliveries. In news you need to know, Krista, I know I don't even have to ask, but you're an online shopper, yes? So this might affect you.
Am I an online
Krista shops a lot. That's why she's always so cute.
I knew it.
I love the shopping online. I just love delivering things that get to my door. You know what else I love delivering straight to my door? Food. I ordered a lot of food in 2020 because, yeah, we all ate a lot, okay? Thank you, pandemic. Later in the show in Trending, I'm going to tell you the top food trends of the year. The Jam will be right back after this.
Joy Hutton, she is a Chicago native who's making quite the name for herself. She is on OWN's Ready to Love, and she's doing some other fabulous things that we'll get to in just a second. Everybody, welcome Joy. Joy, thanks for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be amongst, the Chicagoans. I miss home very dearly, so thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I know, right? This is kind of like somewhat of a homecoming for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what season are we in for Ready to Love right now?
We are in season 3 of Ready to Love.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you.
Tell us about your character and what we can expect.
Well, you can expect just kind of what you see here. I mean, I think, a lot of people think when you go on reality shows, you put on a different persona, but literally who I am right now is who I am on the show. I'm very transparent, I'm calm, I'm looking for my husband, and that's really just on a mission to find that guy. And I think I kind of play a very neutral, nurturing character, not flipping over tables or anything like that. So.
Well, and I think that attitude seems to have been the one that is attracting or like detracting some of the guys on the show. Because I noticed, so Edwin called you a Maserati. I was like, and he is one of the ones I like the most. So how do you feel kind of being in that role where a lot of the guys are gravitating and then some of them were like kind of afraid of you?
Yeah, that balance is interesting. But for me, I'm like, hey, if you are intimidated, then you are not the one for me because I'm an alpha female, so I need an alpha male. And, for those guys, I'm like, all right, see you later. But I like a guy who puts forth that effort. They're consistent. And so that is really kind of what won me over with Edwin because he made it very clear how he felt about me. And I was like, okay.
And I want to make sure we get this thing because we don't have a lot of time left. You also just started your own business, On the Go Glam. Obviously, you're good at glam.
Yeah, thank you. So On the Go Glam is actually my second business. I also run a consulting firm, Joy of Consulting, but On the Go Glam is like Uber for beauty. Someone comes to you and they do your hair, makeup, and nails. And throughout the pandemic, we were getting a lot of requests from men like, hey, what about us? So we pivoted to adding services for men too, so they can get a haircut, get a mani and pedi as well, and also facial grooming.
Oh, we love a well-groomed man.
Yes, we do. And we love being groomed, so it's right up our alley. Joy, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. For more information on Joy's On the Go Glam service, visit her Instagram and website. You see right there on your screens. And for episodes of Ready to Love, go to Oprah.com.
All right, thanks so much, Amy. And things are going to look a little less bright and cheerful down in Springfield this holiday season. So normally there's a big Christmas tree, not seeing it here. Normally there's lots of lights, garland, and tinsel there at the rotunda. But that ain't going to happen. A spokesman for the Secretary of State says several dozen volunteers would have to be in the building to get all the decor up. And with COVID cases rising, it's not just worth the risk. But like other places have done this, guys, I feel like there is a safe way to do it. Don't get me wrong, our state is baroque. But I even I don't have much room, but I put up like 2 little ornaments here in my plant. Don't know if you can show my whole room. See, you can do things limited on a budget, 2 little ornaments. There's some wrapping paper back here as if it's like a decoration. So yeah, on a budget.
No, it's not necessary. It's not necessary at all. We don't need to plug in any lights. We need to pay the bills that we already have. We have more important things to worry about. We'll be okay.
Well, but I'm confused about it. They said they had to have a bunch of people in the building. If you're decorating the outside, why do they have to be in the building? Yeah. Can't you have the one guy, the electrician, go in and plug in the plugs, and then you guys decorate the outside, and then you're 6 feet apart? I don't know.
Okay, it's not that simple, Amy.
Yeah,
it is at my house.
This is real rich coming from the lady who put up a tree, but there's no lights on the darn thing behind you.
Ornaments.
So yeah, this is Felicia on a budget. Amy's at least got some lights. Let's go to Felicia's. She just got some snow that she didn't even put on. Real good stuff.
Don't show that. I'm still working on it. You're lucky I found my tree skirt. Skirt.
Nobody wants a tree without a skirt.
Or do we?
That's true too.
Hey, we want you to show us your lights, by the way. That's an important thing. I know everyone's doing different things. Show us how much better you are than us at this at CW26Chicago.com. all part of the ComEd Energy Efficiency Program too, helping out with this as well. But we want to show them off here on the show. Dave.
All right, coming up in news you need to know, we're talking about U.S. unemployment rate, what's going on with that, and also something really cool, a new way to track COVID surges. But first, let's take a look at the city from the Royal Scenic Chicago Riverfront Cam. The Jam will be right back. Good evening, I'm Diana Gutierrez with the news that you need to know. As we know, it's a very busy online holiday season, but UPS is putting limits on some retail pickups. So think Macy's, Gap, Nike, huge brand names there. Now the company is trying to spread out those shipments and avoid big spikes in volume. It's also trying to keep those small and medium-sized businesses reliable. As we know, those are the businesses that were impacted most because of the pandemic. So if you are going to do online shopping, there could be a delay. Order things early. That's what everyone is saying online as well. And in Chicago, post offices in River North, West Loop, and Lakeview will all be open on Sundays this month. So as we can expect a huge record of holiday mail that's going to be sent out, just make sure you get on time with everything that you need to get out. And although the U.S. unemployment number fell a little bit, it's still pretty high. Right now we have more than 700,000 people that applied for benefits. The total number still receiving unemployment is about 5.5 million. Now, back when the pandemic just started, it was 23 million in May. Experts say the virus needs to be under control with the vaccine for the economy to start to recover so that we can start seeing some type of improvement. And in Northwestern, they actually shared a new data dashboard that pinpoints COVID surges. So here's how it works. It's all online. You click on a map, you click on the state, and it helps you flag surges faster and more accurately. Now, this gives you a look at the states and really across the whole world. Now, they're calling this an early warning system so that we can stay on top of things. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell speaks up about the stimulus check as he's urging lawmakers to sign. He says that there's a compromise within reach, but right now, as it all stands, it doesn't seem like we're going to see that $1,200 deposit before 2020 ends. And I know that's something that a lot of people are waiting on, so we're going to keep our eye on that. Krista?
Thanks, Dee. Coming up, there is a new floofy coffee drink making the rounds on social media, and I'm trying it live right after this. As we had to break, though, take a look at this koala that did a little breaking and entering to get in the Christmas spirit. We'll show you. I'm going to post it on social media on our Instagram story. So look at the Jam TV show. It's so cute. We'll be right back. Okay, let's admit it. We all ordered more food for delivery than ever in our lives before than in 2020. So Grubhub just rounded up their year in food. It's their top trends that people were ordering. Take a look at this list. Here's the top 5. A spicy chicken sandwich, that's topping the list. I love those. But take a look at number 5, cold brew coffee. I couldn't believe that people were delivering coffee to their doors. I love to go get my coffee either if I walk or take a drive. And today I took a drive to go get some coffee because it's going viral, okay? This Dunkin' Donuts coffee, it's called a sugar plum macchiato. They combined a ton of berry flavors, and I've got it right here to try live. And I can't tell you guys how hard it's been for me not to be drinking this for the first 26 minutes of this show. But look at it. It's purple, and then there's espresso on the top. It's just beautiful and aesthetic for social media. That's why people are going crazy for it. So
how much does that
here we
cost?
go. I'm going to try it. First sip.
Okay, first try it.
That has 600 calories.
That is disgusting.
It's actually really good.
Well, of course it is. It's a cup of sugar.
You could really taste the berry flavors. Well, yeah, guys, but whatever.
Well, in Frankenberries, you can taste the berry flavors too.
I read that Dunkin' took 4 years to make this combination of berries. So, hey, it tastes like it. Perhaps
4 years?
It is a little sweet for me.
4-year-old.
It's sweet for me.
That's like that's a research department that got a boatload of money. They figured it out after 2 days, and they're like, "How do we get this project to last 4 more years?" Like they're like one blueberry or plum at a time. Yeah.
Yeah.
purple.
I want black coffee with 2 creams, 2 sugar. That's it.
Yeah.
Just black.
And I'm gonna
Straight
make it at
black.
home.
Well, I'm going to enjoy my super sweet sugar plum drink. Okay,
All right,
guys?
millennial.
Thanks.
We'll be back.
Look at Amy's face.
Uh-oh, it is the jam. It is Thursday night, everyone. Welcome. I was feeling left out. Hello, Amy. Hello, Felicia. You guys have Christmas trees, so I'm adding one to my collection.
Oh, that's cute. It looks better than Felicia's.
And I did this in the commercial break.
Wait a minute, okay?
Yeah.
That does not compare to my tree. No.
What are
Tree
you
looks a
talking
little sad,
about?
Felicia.
It looks like you brought it out of northern Canada, covered in snow, and plopped it in your living room. Put some decorations on that. It's begging for it.
Hey, unless you want to come over and decorate it, leave my tree out of your mouth.
That's fair.
And don't eat her tree, John.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, it's a world that a lot of us don't quite understand, those of us in the civilian world, but the military world continues to churn on as always, and we've got a lot of hometown heroes that are well on their way in military careers. We're going to chat to one right now, Officer Candidate Max Wolfgang Rosner from the Chicagoland area. Officer Candidate Rosner, thanks for joining us here today.
Thank you for having me, John.
And you are currently in officer candidate training, right?
That is correct. I've been here for about 15 weeks in Newport, Rhode Island, preparing to become an officer, in fact, tomorrow morning.
Wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
That must be obviously, it's the end of a 15-week campaign that has given you a lot of training, but the start of a really cool career.
It is. It's going to be a really great career. In the 15 weeks, at times flew by. I'm grateful that I came in with a shaved head on day one, and now I have a little bit of hair as I exit the program.
Yeah, that's been a good way to monitor exactly how far along you've gotten.
Exactly.
Why this career path for you?
Yes, I've always been drawn to the mission of the Navy, the idea that we can keep, the open seas open and free for everyone. But I'm also proud of my family lineage of the Navy. Both my grandparents were in World War II. Both served in the United States Navy. So it's quite cool that they came in as enlisted. One was 15 and the other one was 16. And now I get to continue that in my family as an officer.
You went to St. Ignatius College Prep, graduated about 6 years ago or so. What do you bring to the military now, to the Navy now, from your Chicagoland roots?
Of course. So St. Ignatius, it came from a Jesuit tradition, which was all about service. So I've sort of had drilled in service from day one of high school. So that's been continuing on. In regards to Chicago, my sister-in-law's brother, he will be graduating from the Naval Academy in actually a few short months, and he went to, Brother Rice from Beverly. So there might not be a lot of us from the Chicago area that are naval officers, but it's a really cool group that is.
I'm sure we're well represented, certainly. I want to, as much as you can kind of paint a picture, what is it like? What is your day like in this training process?
Good question. So the first few weeks was called ROM, Restrictive Movement, which was us just, watching PowerPoints in our room, trying to learn what are we about to enter into. Then from day one immediately was getting our shaved heads, marching properly, trying to decipher who's who because everyone looks the exact same. So for those first 3 weeks, it was basically folding T-shirts dozens of times until they were a perfect fit. After that, we got a little bit more experience of what the Navy does. That was mostly through the classroom. And now in this final phase is actually preparing leaders of the Navy. So we each have different jobs here. And so we're ready to lead other sailors on day one.
And what happens next? What does that look like? Where do you go? What happens after this?
Yes, so after here, I will be doing temporary duties in Special Warfare Group 4 with the Navy SEALs. And then I will be going on to Intel School in Virginia Beach.
Intel School. I'm sure I can't ask too many questions about that or get any answers. I imagine you're proud, but I imagine your family is incredibly proud. You may not get to see them as much as, well, I guess we're all kind of in similar boats here this year, but they must be incredibly proud too.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, congratulations. Good luck in your career. And we appreciate all your hard work and representing the Chicagoland area well.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, take care.
Okay. Beep, 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 beep. Okay. So Chicago gets an A for effort for having some sort of recycling plan in place, but we get a D- for execution. The city is not doing enough to ensure that residents in large apartment buildings are recycling, and they make up like a strong 40% of the city. So reps from streets and sanitation say no changes are going to be made until a study is complete in 2021.
We are so bad at it, like, and I try
So
and
bad.
wash out stuff, but like when I open up like the bin and see what other people are recycling, I'm like, you can't put like branches in here, you can't put food in here. What is happening?
Yeah, and then they're not going to take it because there's like 2 things in there that are wrong, so they won't recycle any of it in there.
Yes, and then it just goes in the trash anyway. On to sports, the women's basketball team debuted a new look during their first 2 games, face masks. The team is among a handful to wear masks during games and practices. The Lady Blue Devils have been wearing masks since August. NCAA and Big Ten are not requiring masks on the hard court, though, during competition, So I don't know about you guys, but I have a hard enough trying to breathe when I'm working out. Kudos to them for doing that and crushing it and being safe at the same time.
I work out in a mask. John works out in a mask. It's got to be done.
Yeah, and we're professional athletes, so if we can do it, they can do it.
So not only have you shaded them, I also feel a tad bit judged in this moment.
No, they're doing it. I'm proud of them for doing it. I'm judging you totally, but they're doing it.
We'll move on. Someone else we need to be highlighting, Jamal Cole, the founder of My Block, My Hood, My City, also friend of the Jam. He's an inspiring character in Chicago, and now his story is being told in a new documentary. The film, called A Ripple of Hope, premieres next year, and it's going to focus on Jamal's work to revitalize the city's south and west sides. Really cool guy doing amazing work in the city. No surprise that he's getting some coverage for it, which is he should.
Well deserved, yes. Thanks, Felicia.
Well deserved. Thanks, Amy.
Well, whether you need to zhuzh up your look for a Zoom call or just improve your stay-at-home style, lifestyle expert Bahar Takhteshian says it really only takes a couple of easy steps, and it starts with lighting.
If you're using a ring light or maybe no light at all, you could look a little bit washed out. So a pop of color from lipstick is always really, really helpful. And if you don't want to, again, use too many products, my tip is to not only put the lipstick on your lips, but put a little bit on the apples of your cheek. It's kind of like a cream blush. And that's like the fastest way for you to kind of look awake and to kind of brighten up any sort of sallowness or any sort of like winter blues that you may be emitting in real life and through the computer as well.
Yeah, we've all been there. And then let's face it, by the time we get in front of the computer, we've either gotten the kids ready, the hair's been back in a ponytail, we're looking a little rough. So just a couple quick things, and your hair included, to make you look more presentable.
Yeah, so let's say you don't have time to take a complete shower and you certainly don't have time to blow dry your hair every day. My biggest trick is to take a volumizing tool. Dyson has a great one. And the first thing you do if you have like 0 time is to just focus on the crown of your head. You just blow it out, build some volume at the crown. If you have more time, you move on to the front, kind of build a little bit more volume, get rid of those straggly, stray hairs. That's my tip if you have, a little bit of freedom with a piece of technology like that.
Yeah, especially because I know a lot of us are waiting, 2-3 days to wash the hair in between. It starts to look a little ragged after a couple of days.
Right,
for sure.
Right. There's only so much dry shampoo and you're not getting to the salons as often. So like now is the time to really invest in particular pieces of skincare, makeup, and hair care so that you can really perfect the look at home.
Well, and I feel like so many times now, and this is different than it was, say, 5 months ago, people are starting to turn off their cameras again. Do you think if people spend a couple minutes trying a little bit better, they could be more present at work?
I do think so. I think, like you said, a lot of us aren't putting the effort in dressing up because we have nowhere to go, or maybe we're not putting on makeup. So you end up looking at yourself in the mirror and you feel kind of bad, right? You're like, I look so dumpy. So I think if you put a little bit of effort and use minimal makeup, spruce up your hair every single day, put something nice on, I think it really helps your mood and it makes you feel ready to kind of tackle the day, whether it's taking the kids to school or just, working from home.
Hey, you can get some more tips from Bahar on social media and bahartech.com. Gianna.
Kittens, dun dun dun. Okay, hey, we have big news coming from Big Cat Rescue. It's actually crazy news, and I can't wait to share it, to talk about it in News You Need to Know coming up next. Krista.
I'm eye rolling that Tiger King is trending again. Oh, all right, guys. Later in Deep Dish, we're going deep. We're talking about the things that are legal that we should think that we're talking about legal things that should be illegal, and maybe me getting words out should be legal. Okay, well, bye. We'll be back.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Diana Gutierrez with the news that you need to know. 3 former presidents are willing to get vaccinated to show that it is safe and effective. George W. Bush, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, and Biden even said that he is willing to show publicly his confidence in the vaccine. Now, Obama said, and I quote, "I may even record it on TV for everyone to see." Now, there's a November poll, a Gallup poll that says 58% of people would take that vaccine. Now, the Department of Defense just released what a COVID-19 vaccination record card would look like. Now, they say this is the simplest way to keep track of the shots. And check this out. A recent college grad in Boston took part in the Moderna COVID trial and talked about what the shots were like.
I didn't know whether I was receiving a real dose or a placebo, but it felt very normal. And then 30 minutes later, I had a little bit of stiffness, muscle soreness in my left arm. Typically, side effects I would expect from a flu shot. It's similar to the side effects I do get from a flu shot.
Now, it's super important to note, and he said it there, that he didn't know if he was getting the placebo or the real shot, but I did some digging, and there's a survey here in the state of Illinois that says people would pay more than $700 to get to the top of the list when it comes to getting the vaccine. So, I mean, it's something that we should be talking about, and I think it's a good idea that former presidents are coming out and saying, hey, I'll do this, so that we can all be on the same page.
Yeah, especially given the percentage of effectiveness of the vaccine that we're seeing so far. I mean, they need to compel people to get out and get it.
Yeah, I'm wondering who made that phone call to all the former presidents to be like, hey, can you come out and say this? Because we need to get behind it. I just really would like to know the behind the scenes.
It's like a bat light, Felicia. In the time of Trump, they just put like a silhouette of Abe Lincoln in the sky. Yes. And then it's the former presidents know. It's like a top hat. And they're like, oh, we got to come to the rescue of this vacuum of power we have with Trump. Anyways,
that's pretty funny. I also thought about, what Obama said, that he might put it on TV. I wonder what his wife said about that, because my sister from the South Side, I can't see her being so readily, ready to go to take this vaccine. I don't know. We'll see.
Is that part of his Netflix deal? Like that'll be one episode. It'll just be him and Michelle getting it. Will be the next one. I gotta say though, I love this $700. It's like going to Great American and having the speed pass. I kind of like that. Like no lies. I feel like I would definitely do that too. The New York Times had this really cool. You enter a few like basic information, how old you are, where you live, what county and stuff. And it shows you graphically about where you are. And there's about 260 million people ahead of me in line, they estimate. So if I could jump that a little bit, I am totally game for that because I would take it on day one.
And to be exact, it's $734. I just checked. So that $34 you might have to save from all the coffee that you're buying, John. Wait, you make your coffee at home. Never mind. Doesn't apply. All right, guys. Next story here. Cat Queen Carol Baskin is opening up about a serious accident that happened at Big Cat Rescue. A tiger nearly tore off a volunteer's arm at the shoulder during feeding hours. Now, Carol explains that the volunteer reached into the cage to unlock a door, which is against protocol to do so, especially when a cat is inside. Now, she says that the victim was still conscious when the ambulance arrived, and she was making all her efforts to keep the cat alive, keep the cat safe. And I think that this is something that also happened with Joe Exotic, but I think it's, I don't want to say normal, but it's almost expected. I mean, you're dealing with animals that are dangerous.
You're sticking your arm in a tiger cage. What is happening here? I cannot wait till we're done talking about big cats. It has been the worst thing of 2020. I'm so sick of it.
My only thing is she really, she bashed him when it happened to one of his volunteers. So now when it's happening to her volunteer, it's a little like, I don't know, talking on this side.
Yeah. It's unfair because he's in jail and he can't bash her.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I sure
Those in glass houses fare a lot better than those in cages, is I think what we're trying to say. So, yeah.
Pretty much. But
John,
these cats in cages, that's what should not be happening. You get what you get. It's a wild animal.
I'm currently changing John's name in my phone to Big Cat. 1 second.
Look, I'm just someone that doesn't believe she actually killed her husband. I know I'm in the minority in this little chat box on that.
No, it's
but oh my God, I'm so sick of the big cat thing. Like,
yes.
who cares?
Yeah.
You're going to miss
Like,
it
I
when
feel-
it's gone.
No, I will not, Deanna, I swear. We need to have I'm going to erase this whiteboard. We're going to have a counter for days since we talked about a big cat story. And when we get to 100, I'm buying everybody in here a round of drinks. So.
Yeah. We'll be right back.
Okay.
We'll be back.
Can you smile? Can you smile?
And what country is Barb from?
Barbie's Chinese because she's having a jujitsu.
No.
Deanna, what is happening?
No, like,
Hey everyone, this is always really exciting when Lerner and Rowe teams up to do something really great for people who need it. They grant holiday wishes. They do this twice a year. They call it their 25 Days of Giving Contest. So here's what you have to do. You head to their Facebook page, Lerner and Rowe, Injury Attorneys, and you leave a comment telling them your holiday wish. The only specification's got to be under $500, but that's still a lot of money to grant a wish. There's a new winner every single day from now until December 21st. There's been prizes like water heaters. You need one, and if it breaks down, you need it. Disneyland tickets, mattresses, tires, those things that you desperately need, but you're not going to maybe spend that money to get yourself. So just head to the law offices of Lerner and Rowe on Facebook and post your holiday wish for a chance to win. Hey guys, time for a new segment that we are calling Ham Bones History Nuggets. And this one is this is the story. I'm going to do it like Ken Burns documentary style. This is the story of the Rouse Simmons, the Christmas tree ship, as it is called. It came to Chicago at the beginning of the holiday season for over 30 years in the early 1990s. There you see it. It was easily recognized by waiting crowds, and then they saw the Christmas tree on the mast coming in. Now it's playing the music. There we go. But sorry, this is all a big part of the setup, just to let you all know. So it had Christmas trees. It came by 1900s. But then, unfortunately, guys, in 1912, you're going to see the brothers that were on this ship in 1912. A bad year for ships. That's also the year the Titanic sank. So, you know what I'm about to tell you. This ship sank, and there it is at the bottom of Lake Michigan. People died, 5,000 Christmas trees sank there too. But now the Coast Guard does this giant reenactment every year where they bring the trees in, and they're still doing it this year despite the pandemic. I think it arrives tomorrow. They're doing unloading. Everyone will be in masks, but they give out trees to families that need them for the holiday season. Cool stuff.
Oh, are you done?
No one else?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes!
Wait, I can't hear you. Why is
What a wholesome story, and you guys are just so over it.
Yeah, because people died on this ship. It's not like they reenact the Titanic every year. I never have understood this. Just donate trees to people in need. Why do they reenact the death march of the yacht across the Michigan?
Oh. Did you choose the story, John?
No, Lily told me to do it, and we turned it into a history nugget because it's got a cool story. There's like ghost stories about the shipwreck and stuff like this now. And actually, I didn't pull this picture, but someone actually got one of the trees that had fallen to the bottom of Lake Michigan. It's just dead branches, and they put lights on it, and I think that's a little weird. But anyways, it's wholesome. Great that families are getting in need. We'll be back after this.
You say something to her in Chinese.
你好吗？
She bowed. Isn't she polite?
Time for deep dish. So what's legal but should not be legal? I want to kick this off by saying having kids. Having kids, yes, you should be allowed to have kids, but there should be some sort of license or class. I mean, we go to school for everything else, but one of the most important things, not only having a child, but raising a child, rearing children, grooming them to be wonderful citizens. We need a class for that.
Okay, also, well, it's legal, but it should be illegal to drive over the age of 75 unless you take a driver's exam every single year. And if you don't show up for your exam on your 76th birthday, they send you a warning note and then another warning note. And if you don't call back or register that you are not going to take your test because you are not driving, then you get ticket after ticket.
Don't you have to take it at what time? Isn't there an age where you do have to take it, like every 6 months or no?
Yeah, when you, what is it, 86? You have to start taking it every year?
You're bumping that down a little bit at 75. All I know is my grandpa and my Aunt Jeannie was driving at the age of 97. And when I found that out, I was like, tell me where she lives, because I'm not going within 3 square miles in that place.
Right?
Okay, so I've got a bunch of ladies here in the chat with me, so y'all won't get this. Brian, our director, will get it, though. I think it should be completely illegal to talk at the urinals. It is the weirdest thing because you're really close to someone. Yeah, thank you, Brian. Thank you. Yeah.
That's weird.
It is so weird to be standing there with everything out and you're doing this and you're like as close as like right here to someone, especially like in a Cubs game.
If this is the wall, do you talk like this? You're like, I can't turn my head.
Oh,
I'm not turning my head.
Yeah, you are straight at it. I'm always just like, I try to ignore them as long as is awkward until they're like, did you hear me? I had the point. I'm like, of course I heard you. I was trying to ignore you. All right.
Oh
the
my
private
gosh.
moment.
What if you have 2 people on each side of you? Do you know who's talking to who? What if you're just talking into a conversation that's not even for you?
Yeah.
Anyway,
question.
okay. Did you know that you could buy a tank and drive it? That should be illegal.
Oh, that's.
Well, I think you're thinking a CDL though, don't you?
Yeah, but that's easy. But you could still drive. Who wants to drive a tank on the expressway on I-55?
I'm gonna go to Kansas
I would say when you subscribe to something and then it auto renews. No, I want to cancel it after the free trial. I'm done after it's free.
Yeah. We'll see you tomorrow for Friday show, everyone.